I really wanted to like this movie, but I didn't. Hi guys. So I just recently saw Captain America: Brave New World. First and foremost, that was a really long title. I really wish they could have figured out a way to shorten it. Just say Cap 4. I'm fine with that. I know it's in the sequence. It's a different Captain America, but dang it, I don't want to keep saying a full sentence to talk about the name of a movie. Anyway, Captain America: Brave New World is technically Captain America 4 or 5 if you count the Disney Plus series, but it is now Anthony Mackie officially starring as Captain America in the new role. Because if you watch the Disney Plus series, well, or I guess if you haven't seen that with Winter and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he wasn't officially Captain America until the very end of the series, and now in this particular movie, he is officially Captain America. So this is the first Captain America led Anthony Mackie movie. So like I was saying in the opening, I really was hyped up for this film. It was something I really want to see. I love Anthony Mackie as an actor, and I feel like they got some really good cast members to be in this. R.I.P. to William Hurt, since he recently, well, I guess not recently, but he passed away not too long ago, and he is being replaced as Thunderbolt Ross by Harrison Ford. So I'm super excited about seeing that too. Harrison Ford in another Disney property slash Marvel, I guess if you look at it that way. And then seeing him take over the Thunderbolt Ross role, which I thought was going to be a hard one to recast, but if you say Harrison Ford, I'm on board for it. Also, too, you're getting Giancarlo Esposito in this particular film, and he's basically great in everything that he does. Even though he was replacing Seth Rollins, which I really kind of wanted to see in the role, and we'll talk about this more as we get into the review. But this is going to be my thoughts and review of Captain America: Brave New World. This is going to be a spoiler review because I'm going to do 2 of these reviews, and it's going to be a little bit long because I am going to rant. So as always, anytime that we do any of our reviews on the goods, we always talk about the goods and the bads of the movie. So we're going to talk about the goods first because we're going to get through that really quick. First thing that I liked about this movie, like I said in the open, is that I like Anthony Mackie. He's a great actor. I think he did great as Falcon, and his relationship with Chris Evans' Captain America was amazing. So seeing him get the mantle passed to him as Captain America was awesome. Even in Winter and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I keep trying to put him as the bottom tier. Even in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I liked his chemistry with Bucky. Um, it's always been something that he even when The Rock and every movie that he's been, he knows how to have great chemistry with anybody else that he's on film. And he hasn't had many things that he's got to lead. I know he was doing the Twisted Metal series, which I still haven't seen. But seeing him as Captain America, super excited for. And I think his serious scenes in this movie were great. It gave a lot of dramatic kind of like gravitas to him. His back and forth with Thunderbolt Ross, Harrison Ford's Thunderbolt Ross, was really great when it was on screen. Um, we'll talk about that more, but seeing him as Captain America was awesome. It made my heart sing. It is Black History Month, so it made my heart sing. But we're gonna kind of move on from there. I want to see more what they do with him as Captain America going forward in the MCU. I just don't think they're gonna do a lot with this particular character going forward after the way that this movie performed. Other things that I liked about this movie is the action scenes, and there is an asterisk on that. Because the flight scenes that we got to see in the trailer, and I will say the trailer spoiled a lot of this movie. A lot of this movie. I thought there was more going on in this movie that was not going on that we hadn't already seen in the trailer. If you watched the trailer, you watched this movie. The action scenes where him and Falcon are going up against the fighter jets, I thought those scenes were super cool. I've been always a fan of how they portray Falcon being able to be combative, and all the aerial, you know what I'm saying. um all those flips and things that he does in the air and still kind of pull out, even though no human should be able to survive the G forces that he takes in just a jumpsuit. It's crazy. But they were very fun, they're very exciting, and it really got you into a Top Gun-ish type of a feeling in that. And Other things that I liked about the action scenes are going to be the Red Hulk scenes. And like I said, this is a spoiler review. Trust me, you've seen everything in the trailers anyway. The Red Hulk action scenes were awesome. Even though Red Hulk was only on there probably less than 10 minutes throughout this whole movie, which we'll talk about later, that when they did put him on there, it wasn't wonky CGI like some people would say with She-Hulk. Though, basically, they just painted the regular Green Hulk red and just popped on Harrison Ford's face on top of the thing. So I think it was probably easier for them to do this one than they did with She-Hulk. But at least the CGI in that aspect was not bad in this particular movie. And showing the strength and the opposing force it was to fight a Hulk was a great thing that they did in this movie. I wrote a list of things that I actually did like about this movie. Other things that I did like about this movie is that they kind of wrapped up a lot of some loose elements that's been in the MCU for a while. Yes, this is spoiler. They wrapped up some leader stuff that was out there. They wrapped up some Betty Ross stuff that was out there. So I really like that they did that. Though the opening of this film kind of felt like a recap for everybody who didn't watch the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series, because I felt like that one didn't do well anyway. So maybe they needed to catch up the audience. But the first 10 minutes of this movie was just catch up. So they used those catch ups and then kind of like wrapped up some of those loose holes towards the end. Those were the things that I did like, I would say, the goods of this particular movie. Now, let's get you guys to go ahead and sit down, prepare yourself, get yourself a drink or a snack, because I'm about to spend a long time talking about the bads of this film. So, the bads of Captain America Brave New World, 90% of this movie was not good. Like I said, it's Black History Month. I needed to like this movie. I wanted to come on here with a glowing reviews, and yes, I know before you guys put in the comments, I did not like Black Panther. But this one I wanted to really, really like. It just had so many. Look, it's not the worst movie I've seen. It's not what's that movie where they're in the basement in the inbred people monster thing? That it's not that movie. But this movie is like borderline C- as far as movies goes. It's just so mid-level, as the kids say, mid. But let's start with my first bad. My first bad is the overall plot of this movie. It seemed like it was going somewhere cool, and then when you get to the end, it's just kind of like, what was the point? What was really the point? It doesn't set up anything outside of once again, spoiler alert. It doesn't set up anything but Secret Wars. As far as what they're hinting to, but the movie didn't need to set up anything for Secret Wars because it had nothing to do with Secret Wars. It doesn't really end or pay off for the leader itself because they brought him back, reminded you that he was still out there, and then just kind of locked him away. And I was like, okay, so that's it. And I know he's smart and he can't really do a lot, but I was like, okay, so that's all we're doing with the leader. Was just that. Okay. It seemed like at the very beginning they were going to talk about more or less about the world accepting him as Captain America. In the Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was about the government accepting him as a new, when they wanted to have like a poster boy for Captain America. This one was kind of like, is the world ready for Captain America? This as Sam Wilson's version of Captain America, and is Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson ready to accept the role of actually being Captain America, not being a super soldier? So much so that they almost forget that he's not a super soldier, and they put him in every super soldier type of situation. He gets battered and thrown around and stuff like that, to where like, hey, did he take the serum or not? Because it seems like he did, even though he keeps saying he didn't, but he's surviving way too much. Other things that I did not like about this particular movie, Harrison Ford. Look, R.I.P. to William Hurt. William Hurt, I believe, is Thunderbolt Ross. I wanted to accept Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross, but Harrison Ford did not do a good job as Thunderbolt Ross. He just seemed like an old man. He seemed like, look, William Hurt was 71, yes, but Harrison Ford is 82. He is 82. There was too many old men in this movie, and then too many young people in this movie. But Harrison Ford played this role as an old man, from when he had to build up. His president scenes were good. But the whole duality between him and Red Hulk, when he's doing the faces and stuff like that, it looks so cheesy. And his angry things, it's just so cheesy. It's like, I believe him as president, and because maybe it calls back to Air Force One, but I don't believe him as Thunderbolt Ross in this and having to be Red Hulk as well. It felt like he was turning into a werewolf over time throughout this movie, and then he just became Red Hulk. He sold this so badly, so badly. Other things that I did not like about this is fucking Falcon. Look, I know in the comics, for some particular reason, you gotta have a Cap and a Falcon. I get it. But could we not do this? This did not look, it did not work. It worked well in the Disney Plus series because he was just kind of a fanboy and you kind of get it, but not as Falcon. It really didn't work as that. He was so annoying with all his little quips and jokes and stuff. And I know the MCU likes to do that, but it just over time, I'm like, dude, stop. And then he gets hurt midway through the fucking movie, and it just makes you feel like, why was he even in this movie? And then it's like, when they bring back Bucky, you're like, why was Bucky not in this movie? This could have just been Captain America and Winter Soldier and not included Falcon, or just kept him over the side as a fanboy still. I would have preferred that, but I know Bucky's in Thunderbolts and he can't be in 2 franchises, I guess. The chemistry with him and Falcon, it just seemed like it was a dad and an annoying little son. And I needed more of the Falcon and Bucky type, or Sam Wilson and Bucky type chemistry, or Chris Evans, I'm sorry, or Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson type chemistry. The Falcon dude was just kind of on my nerves, and I'm glad they got rid of him. When they got rid of him, he was pointless to me for this whole story. All right, outside of saying that he had a teammate because he didn't take the super soldier serum, or did he? All right. Other things that I did not like about this particular movie, or bads, is Giancarlo Esposito. He didn't do a bad job, but that should have been Seth Rollins. His point to this movie was so pointless that it should have just been a smaller actor. They just used a name in this movie in order to make his presence on screen, or like the character, seemed like it was more than what it really was, but it really was not anything. Seth Rollins could have played this role. I really wish they'd have used his scenes, especially when it got to the action scenes, because Giancarlo Esposito is like 60 something, and I could not buy that he was doing these flips and all the action scenes they had him do. I would have bought from Seth Rollins, but not from Giancarlo Esposito. So it's like, we got Harrison Ford at 80, we got Giancarlo Esposito at 60. That dude, younger casting would have really helped this movie. Since we're talking about action scenes, dude, the action scenes were such a sluggish thing. As it's like they didn't go back and get the same person that they got for Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and the action scenes in that one, or it's like they just got anybody. Go get the John Wick guy. Do some better action scenes that were done in this particular film. Everything felt like, I'm gonna trip you now, I'm gonna punch you now, you're gonna fall down. It really felt like they didn't speed up the film like they were supposed to do, or they just really played it for like, we don't want to make sure anybody gets hurt because everybody here is geriatric. All right. Other things that I did not like in this particular film, really, man, I wrote so much stuff down here. Really is that this should have been a Disney Plus series. The Disney, like the other one, it kind of got to a point and it ended. It didn't really need a greater arching view of the MCU, and I felt like doing a particular movie, you need to have something to set up for more of the MCU. This just felt like a Captain America mission that just happened, and it really didn't set anything up that made a difference going forward. All the stuff that played out in here, if all the action scenes had not have happened, would have just eventually played out the same way that they were going to play out to begin with. It just felt like they were just doing things for doing sakes, and I think that would work better as a Disney Plus series. All right, that's where I'm going to stop right now on this. I want to hear what you guys think about this particular movie. I know the internet's kind of down on this movie right now. Some people do like it, and a lot of people don't like it, and I can see why they don't like it. But if you can help me find some redeeming factors, make sure you put your comments in the comments below. And if this is the first time that you're on the channel, make sure you subscribe, as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on the channel. I'm going to get more back into reviews as I see things, and sometimes it takes me a while to see movies, so they may come out late, or maybe not at all. But with that being said, you guys take care.
Guys, you're still with us? Great. I know it's the end of the year, and I know you guys are in the holiday spirit, the spirit of giving, right? So we're asking you to give us money. So if you look down below, you'll see where it says patreon.com/thegoods. Right there is if you have an excess amount of cash laying around. If you have not bought enough Christmas presents and you're wondering, who else can I bring joy to this year? Us. That's who you can bring joy to. Have you ever looked at us and you're like, man, they should get a better camera? You're right, because we don't have enough money to. You can help us do that. Patreon.com/the goods. Help us out. We'd appreciate it. And you can be a part of the goods yourself.